Well, it's that time of year again and you're looking for the perfect gift, or you just want something a little nice for yourself. You have a budget of about $100 and you're wondering what's the best that gets you. Well, I'm Norb, your audiophile pal, and you are in the right place to find that out. I'll be covering both wired and wireless earbuds, headphones, and a little bit extra so you can buy with confidence. Before we start, a few quick notes. Every price I mention here is suggested retail, so if you look hard, you'll probably be able to find them even cheaper. I'll touch on this whenever I can. I've also linked everything I mentioned here in the comments below. I do make some commission from those, so just a heads up. Finally, I've done a couple of other gift guides at different price points, and I'll link to those at the end of the video. With that, let's get started. So let's start with IEMs, in-ear monitors. Now you might want to call them earbuds, but at $100, trust me, they're IEMs. This is actually a really crowded space, and there's a lot of really good stuff here. So I will give my recommendation, but don't take that as the final word. There's a lot of great items to explore, so I'll give you a list of those at the end of this as well. I want to call out the Truth Ear Hexa, however, as my choice. These normally sell for about $80, but I've seen them for as low as $68. They have one dynamic driver and 3 balanced armature drivers, so the different ranges are physically separated. This means that it is extremely clear and clean sound. The sound signature skews a little bit light on bass, but it by no means sound exhausting at all. You can use EQ to tune these a little bit to your taste, or you can just get yourself an impedance adapter, which will run you between $5 and $10, but will boost the bass some. Resolution, tonal balance, and especially details are all great in this. Instrument separation is likewise also very good. All in all, these sound amazing. The only issue I had with these was actually comfort. Although they have rounded corners, I still didn't love the way they felt to me, but comfort is entirely subjective, so don't take my word for it. As for other options in the sub $100 space, check out the Titan Dunu S, which uses a single dynamic driver, the Linsol SimGot 500 EA, which uses a single dynamic driver as well, the Moondrop Aria, which is older but a perennial favorite, and the KZ-PR1, which uses planar drivers. Now, if you decide that you prefer headphones over IEMs, at this price you have a ton of great options. For this guide, I'm going to highlight the Sony MDR7506, which is an older pair of headphones, but it's one that's been a favorite among audiophiles for decades for a reason. In fact, I've owned this pair now myself for about 15 years and I still love it, although I've had to replace the ear pads a couple of times. These retail for about $100, but I usually find them for about $85 or so. If you go to any music studio or sound engineering locale, there's a really good chance that you'll see a few pairs of these running around. Sound engineers often use these because they reveal everything, and at this price I don't know that you'll find anything that will give you this much detail. The next step up might be the Sennheiser HD560S, which retails for $240, although I think I've seen it for as low as $150. The MDR7506s also have really great bass. I do find that they get a little bit fatiguing at times in some of the lower treble because they peak around there in frequency to response charts, but you can calm that down a bit with EQ or even by getting different ear pads. As I said though, there are a ton of great options at this price. If you tend to like something that's super clear, check out the Grado SR60X, which a lot of people love and is great to get into modding headphones. This is perfect, by the way, for the tinkerer in your life. One of my all-time favorites is the Sennheiser HD599. These normally sell for about $130, although the SE version is something you can usually find for under $100, and the only difference is the color. Super comfortable and incredible sound. In fact, these were the headphones that started me on my audiophile journey. First time I listened to this, I was like, wow, I didn't realize headphones could sound this good. They do have a smooth, warm sound that is clear but not grating. They don't have much in the way of bass, but frankly, they are headphones that I can wear and listen to all day long without any sort of issues. By the way, the gaming version of that might be the PC38X, which sells for about $160. There's also the PC37X, which you might want to try out. Now that usually dips under $100. It's a good gaming headphone, but also a good music headphone. Now, if you don't have the money for the 599s or the PC37X or the PC38X, their younger brother is the HD569s, which are not as detailed as the 599, but are still a fantastic bargain in their own right. These normally sell for about $100, but you can usually find them lower than that. I think I recently saw them for about $70. Now, I've mentioned EQ a couple of times already, and that's because I wanted to talk to you about the Qtel X5K. This normally runs $110, so it's a little bit over our budget, but I don't think that you're going to find a better Bluetooth and USB DAC amp combo at this price. It's absolutely loaded with features. And if you want to experience the quality of wired headphones or IEMs while still enjoying the flexibility of Bluetooth, then this is absolutely what you want to get. These can handle pretty much every major codec today, including LDAC, aptX Adaptive, aptX HD, and AAC. By the way, if you don't know what a codec is, I'll drop a link below to a video explaining what they are. It also includes both a regular 3.5mm jack as well as a 2.5mm balanced output jack. Balanced output means that there's a better overall signal going into your headphones, which means a better sound, although you'll need to buy the cable separately. The Q-Delix 5K also has a ton of preset EQ settings that lets you make the sound on your headphones or your earphones more neutral. Plus, you can set your own EQ settings to make your music sound the way you want. Not only can you use this as a Bluetooth receiver, but you can also connect it to your phone or computer to make it a wired DAC app combo. This is one of my favorite audiophile tools, and it pairs perfectly with just about every wired headphone or earbud that I can think of. If you don't have that extra $10, however, and you're definitely sticking under that $100 cap, you still have options. There's a FiO BTR3, which gives you the wireless functionality and enough power to drive most headphones without issue. For something a little bit less expensive, there's the iFi Go Link, which I talk about in my $50 guide, but realistically, the humble Apple dongle will do, and I talk about that in my $25 gift guide. If you're finding this useful, please be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing. And if you think that I've done an extra good job, then feel free to hit up the tip jar below. Moving back to earbuds, this time the wireless kind. Again, at the $100 mark, you have a ton of great options. There are two that I want to highlight. The first one is the Status Between Pro. I did a review on these, which I'll link above my head in the description, and I do have some issues with it. But when it comes to sound, I don't know that there's anything else at this price that's this good. These retail for $150, but Status drops them pretty frequently down to $99, which is why I'm including them on this list. The second is the Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro. Note that Soundpeats did send these to me, but they just sent them to me. There was no expectation of a review or that include them in anything. They were just like, here you go. At first I was like, all right, sure, why not, thanks. But then I started using them all the time. And then I realized that I actually really like these. First, they're loaded with features. Active noise canceling, that's actually pretty decent. Bluetooth 5.3 for fast pairing, 52-hour battery life with the case, and up to 8 hours of playtime. IPX4 sweat resistance, LDAC codec, a low latency game mode, and an app that lets you control these features, plus gives you EQ, like a proper EQ. And these retail for just $80, although they frequently drop down to as low as $60, and you can buy both the Capsule 3 Pro and the Engine 4, which I talked about in my $50 video, for just $91 as of this video right now, and I'll put a link down below for that one. So that makes it a great one for you, one for me type of purchase. But yeah, beyond this, there's a ton of great stuff. Soundcore, Earphone, Edifier, just off the top of my head, you have options out there. Finally, there are over-the-ear headphones for $100. Again, you have some really good options here, and they come in two flavors. The stuff that retails at around this price, and the stuff that frequently drops to this price. The dropping ones usually include things like the Sony WH820 and even the Sony WH-XB910N if you love your bass and you don't mind getting that one refurbished. Again, one of my favorite stores online is Serendipity. They sell a bunch of stuff on eBay. Check them out. But in the category of things that retail at this price, I'm going to start with the Edifier WH820 These were sent to me by Edifier for inclusion on this list, but I am really glad that they did. They do retail for $90, but I've seen them dip as low as $60, so definitely worth the spend. With these, you get great sounding headphones that can work with either wirelessly or wired via USB-C. When wireless, they handle both the SBC and LDAC codec, which means that they're compatible with every smartphone and computer, but if your Android phone handles LDAC, then you're going to get the best possible sound out of these. As for sound, these give decent detail for the price and for the fact that they're closed back headphones with a satisfying, fun sound signature. It's a little bit more recessed in the upper mids than I would like, and they have a little bit of extra bump in the low trebles to make up for it, but again, it's a fun sound. You can also use 4 EQ presets in the app to make the sound more lively and better suited to whatever music you're listening to. They do come with a USB-A to USB-C cable to connect to your computer for sound, but if you buy a USB-C to USB-C or USB-C to Lightning OTG cable, then you can also connect it to your phone, which will also charge the headphones. And let me tell you, when you plug them in this way, they sound even better. Again, for the price, they really have a great, fun, consumer-focused default sound that doesn't sound cheap, doesn't sound chintzy, and doesn't sound bloated with bass. Calls also sound pretty great with these, and they have 49 hours of battery life. They use Bluetooth 5.2 for fast connections, and they're ridiculously comfortable, even with glasses on. They do run a little large though, so don't get these for people with smaller heads. Not only do they have active noise canceling, but they also have an adjustable transparency mode that you can change using the Edifier app. There are a few other headphones that I've really liked at this price range. First is the Soundcore Live Q30. Now, these are not the newest. That title belongs to the Soundcore Space One as of this recording, but that doesn't matter. The Q30 are just an absolutely fantastic deal for the price. They retail at $80, but I very frequently see them at about $60 and have seen them for as low as $50. In fact, I got this pair at $47. With that, you get 40 hours of battery life, AAC and LDAC, active noise canceling, transparency, a 3.5mm audio jack, and one of the best graphical EQ apps out there, and a ridiculously comfortable set of ear pads. By default, the sound is not my favorite, but just with a little EQ work, these can sound just absolutely fantastic. Finally, I'll touch on the JBL Tune 710BT, which sacrifice feature for sound quality. These have hands-free calling, multi-point connection, and 50 hours of battery life with a fast charge of 3 hours of music in 5 minutes. But they don't have a ton of other features. The big draw here is hands down the sound. They have the JBL Pure Bass sound as an option, but in their default mode, they are some of the best sounding wireless headphones that you're going to find at this price. By the way, pure bass in this case doesn't mean only bass, it means clean bass. Anyway, I could talk way more about this particular price range, but I'll stop here because otherwise the video would be way too long and you're too busy and you don't want that. Still, I hope that you found this useful. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and maybe consider a tip. Now, if your budget is a little bit lower, don't worry, I did a couple of other guides for lower price tiers, so be sure to check those out. And trust me, just because the price is lower doesn't mean there's less value. There's gold in them dar videos! With that, I hope you have a fantastic holiday. Cheers.